Hello, everybody. Welcome back with another The Not So Fashion talk show. It's not fashion because we talk about stuff that most people don't like to talk. Kind of like that. Anyways, if you want to support this show, you can click on my link, check out some shirts, check out some of my songs and things like that. So today we're gonna talk to Epic Dad Life, Sean Hill. He's a very present dad and a very funny guy. He's very famous on TikTok or something like that. He has some videos there have a lot of views. Anyways, I got to invite here Sean, and we're gonna get started.
What's up?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Can't complain.
Nice.
So today we are actually having an interview. Just so you guys know, this interview is gonna be on YouTube later on my channel, Punkaste TV, and I'm happy to talk to. I know we talked to quite a bit on social media before. We never
Yeah.
get to meet and see per se, but the other day you called my attention with a little bit of your story that is very similar to mine, and I've been wanting to talk to you forever. So I decided to finally invite you to the Not So Fashion Talk Show.
Yeah. Thanks for reaching out.
No problem, man. So can you tell us first a little bit about yourself, what you do,
Um,
and things like that?
yeah, so I'm basically just a stay-at-home dad, and I kind of document my day-to-day struggles here on Instagram, and then uh, try to make funny stuff on TikTok.
Yeah, I heard you're pretty good at TikTok. I don't have TikTok, so I don't follow you, and I apologize for that. But every time I check your stories are freaking awesome. And I heard that you said the other day that one of the videos that you made it was getting a lot of views and stuff. So
Yeah, I made one about 2 days ago, and it's almost at 1 million views. So that's by far my most viewed video. My phone's been like buzzing nonstop, and
that's cool.
uh, yeah, it really resonated with the moms because it's the comments is just nothing but moms and ladies chiming in. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
It's funny because I'm also a stay-home dad, and I wouldn't say basically because it's a lot of work, but I can totally relate how because moms they usually relate to me way more than the guys because we're doing stuff that normally or society says that it's supposed to be the mom doing it.
yeah, oh for sure. I find myself even at like a party that I'll tend to kind of start talking to all the moms instead,
Yeah.
um, just because at the time, we have more to talk about. Um, I can talk to anybody about anything, but sometimes a group of guys start talking about their jobs and their whatnot. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to your mom about breastfeed. I'm gonna go talk to her about breastfeeding real quick.
Yeah. That's so funny because I can totally relate with that. It's just like I don't know, like some of the stuff you're like, whatever, like that. It doesn't match. I mean, for me, I don't know for you, but for me, it already didn't match in the beginning because like I'm a guy, but I'm not really a guy. You know what I mean? Like one time they called me for a poker game and cigars. I was like, man, I don't smoke cigars and I don't know how to play poker. So it's like, what I gonna be? And I don't drink, so what I gonna be doing in there?
Yeah, yeah,
So so
yeah. I mean, it's
how is that with you? Like,
yeah. I mean, I would love to go smoke cigars. I suck at poker, so I'd probably lose all my money. But yeah, back in Denver, I had like a mom's group. Um, I was like the only dad at this mom's meetup group.
Yeah.
Just because, and I looked it up, and I like could not find a group of stay-at-home dads to go like hang out with.
Yeah. Do you know what is funny? I tried to do a dad's group a few times here in Denver, and I never get to it because like most dads don't come. Like first of all, like it was kind of like a supportive group, so dudes don't like to talk about emotions, and
Yeah.
you know, like and most of them, you know, like it's kind of like it's pointless. It's
Yeah.
easy to hang out with the ladies.
Yeah. And yeah, and I've always had like a lot of girlfriends, you know, like I hung out with a big group of girls like in high school, along with, you know, my guy friends too, but I've always had good girlfriends.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's
much
interesting because I was exactly the same way, and your experience in high school based on your post was fairly similar to mine. So, do you mind talking a little bit about that? Because I know you talk about your struggles after high school, but let's just start with how was high school for you?
Yeah, well, I was, you know, freshman year, I was, I was always kind of a jock growing up. I always played sports, but then I got really into music. My freshman year, I decided to go like full punk rock, and I started dyeing my hair, painting my nails. So I got a lot of shit for that,
Okay.
you know, by the upperclassmen, and I was never a very good student. I had ADD growing up. And by the time I got to high school, like all the Ritalin, all the medication, like wasn't working anymore. So junior year, I started smoking marijuana like on the regular, just like every day.
Yeah.
My grades shot up. I became like this good student. School was fun. You know, so self-medicating like got me through high school, except for, you know, it kind of got me running with not the best crowd. My friends were also fellow stoners.
Yeah.
And, you know, we all didn't really have much like drive or direction in life. So I graduated high school. I was just working for my dad. You know, every plan I had just like fell through because I didn't have the structure of school anymore. I was just drinking way too much, partying. So by the time I was like 19, the next summer, super depressed. I'd lost my like high school girlfriend. She had moved away. Tried to do a long distance thing, didn't work. So yeah, when I was 19, I tried committing suicide. Obviously, I failed, and it still took me a year later to finally figured out it was my lifestyle. It was partying. It was the drinking. So at 20 years old, I quit drinking, quit doing drugs, and got cleaned up, got healthy, started hitting the gym, and moved out of my town. And you know, life never got really easier. I was always kind of just coasting by, you know, working construction. But it was the best decision. You know, I got clean. I got out of that cycle. I changed my life, and 10 years later, I meet my wife, and now I'm a stay-at-home dad with a beautiful family.
And your decision of being a stay-home was your decision to be a stay-home dad, or?
Yeah, it was both of ours because I grew up with a stay-at-home mom, and she grew up with a single working mom. So it was like really important that we just had somebody at home. And by the time we had kids, I had gone back to school, and by the time I graduated, we had our two sons. And so the cost of like childcare for me to go back to work, I would have been like working for free, especially in downtown Denver.
Yeah.
So part of it was financial, and then now the kids, all three of them are back in school, so I'll be looking for work here pretty soon.
Yeah. So that's tough when they go back to work, right? To school.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're gonna have a lot of time in your hand.
I know, and I'm like, currently I'm broken. I broke my hand.
Yeah.
And I'm starting a handyman business. So right now I can't really do that.
You don't have a handy a handy.
I don't have a handy. Yeah. But yeah, it's this transition, like today it kind of hit me hard because this was the first day all three of them were in school all day.
No.
It's like my identity is being a stay-at-home dad, and now that's like going to change.
Yeah.
So I'll still be epic dad. I'm still going to be there for the kids, and I'm going to hopefully the handyman business will be very flexible, so I can still, they get sick, I can go pick them up, and
yeah, you still have that flexibility into it.
Yeah,
but it's crazy, right? How it's like he opens a window, right?
Yeah. Well, and just how crazy it is. I don't know if this happened to you, but becoming a stay-at-home dad, I slowly like lost who I was. Like I used to work out and I stopped. I used to hang out with friends and I couldn't anymore. Like you kind of slowly lose yourself. And I feel fortunate I was able to see it and try to reel it in every now and then.
Yeah.
But yeah, today I was just like, I'm a stay-at-home dad. This is going to be like so weird.
Yeah, you can kind of relate a lot with what moms go in general, right? Because they all go through this. First they basically lose their identity, and then to find that again, and then when kids go to school, it's kind of like it stops everything, and you have like 6-7 hours in your hands that you're by yourself, and you used to be with, or in your case, 3 little kids full of energy, and you're like, what the hell am I gonna do now?
Yeah, I guess the house is just going to be super clean. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, right? So what do you do what's your daily task, let's put it this way, as a stay-home dad?
Well, now it's going to be getting 3 kids to school. My boys go to the same school. My little girl goes to a different school, and they both start at the same time.
Okay.
So before last year, one of us could sleep in if we wanted to. It was manageable to get like the one kid to school.
Oh, I see. But now it's everybody.
So now both of us have to be like up and running. And yeah, so I don't have my routine yet.
And your wife works, I assume?
Yeah, and she works remotely, and she has meetings and stuff, but she doesn't have to like be at her desk at a certain time.
So
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. She'll be really busy one week and she can't like help out at all, and then the next week she'll be like super not busy, so she likes to take the kids every now and then and like go do fun things or help out. So
yeah. And you are working out currently? I know we were supposed to skateboard before you moved, but it never happened. Yeah. What are you doing for exercise now?
Well, I was going to start mountain biking, and then I broke my hand mountain biking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have started running a little bit, and I used to hate running. I used to not, I was a gym rat for a long time, and I never really liked running, but I went for a run like on a nice trail the other day.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, I could probably get into this.
Yeah, running is cool. Like I don't do it anymore because I got really burned out. But running, it's very good, man. You know, since high school days, you know, I had my days in high school too, and running was what put my mind back into the game. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife is an ultra runner.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. She just got back into it this year because after the having kids, um, you know, she couldn't run. And her runs are like, she'll go bust out like 10 miles
Like easy.
plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. This year she did a 50-mile race or 50K and yeah, only trained like 6 weeks for it.
Wow.
So she's like super nuts.
What is her longest race so far?
She did 100K once, or
Ouch.
not even 100K, like 100-mile race. Have you heard of the lead races?
Yeah.
Lead min races, yeah. So she did all 5 of those in 1 year. So she's what they call a lead woman.
Wow.
So
That's pretty cool.
she's yeah. So my kids, I love it because they're gonna get like crazy endurance from her, and then they'll get my athleticness from me because my wife can't like throw or catch to save her life. But so I hope we make a really good mix and we have like a couple good athletes on our hands.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
My wife was a triathlete and she used to beat me on swim all the time. But after we had kids, we kind of like she stopped before, and then after we had kids, I was already done anyways. And I did my last Ironman 6 months before my first was born, and that was it. I was like, okay, I'm done. And so I you know, I admire her because training for all of this with 3 kids in your case, it's tough, man.
Yeah, she had to wake up really early in the morning, and which is amazing because like we're not morning people at all. So for her to wake up at like 4 in the morning to go run, you know, it was quite the commitment for her. But yeah, so what do you do now? I know you skateboard. Do you do work out any other way?
I do yoga. I try to do yoga daily, you know, because triathlon tied me up quite a bit, and so I try to do opposite. My entire life is doing opposite things. So when I stopped Ironman, I just went back to yoga, and I do yoga and skateboard pretty much. That's about it. Uh, Skateboarding for me, it's like I don't know, it's a kid's dream, and it's also like it's like my time, you know, like it's almost like you're flying, and nothing else matters in that sense. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
a relief.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned marijuana that your grades got better afterwards because you had ADD, and so I want to explore a little bit in there since you touched the subject because I didn't use that much in school, but the times that I use it, I was like, man, it's kind of like it's night and day difference between concentration and all of that stuff. And you saying that your grades got higher, I was like, man, I should have used it like a long time ago because I wasn't a good student either.
Yeah. Yeah. It you know, with ADD and ADHD, you're like you just get bored, right? You need to be stimulated and it just got me like laser focused. I wasn't bored anymore. I was just like, oh, I'm having fun being here, so I'm going to like concentrate and do the work. And my favorite subject was English, so I'd just like write. And, I was always like, I'm still super creative, but I would just let it go when I was,
So you kind of don't have any judgment holding you, and plus like the fact that you can concentrate. And I think it's fantastic that you said that, because like a lot of people that I talk to, like they don't understand. But looking at your background of in school, that you had the same troubles that I did pretty much, and the fact that you even tried to hurt yourself later on, I had my episodes too, and it's kind of like it kind of makes sense. And like I want to put the word out there, because like I don't know how my kids are gonna grow up, but I don't want them to feel judged for using something that makes them feel, makes them make part of the world, like when you can concentrate and you don't have that agitation next to you, it's like you can live, you know what I mean? Like, and
yeah,
not everybody understands that. So
yeah. And I feel like in today's world, with it being legal for medical and recreational, like if I would have had that back then, I could have like gone to a shop where I could get the same stuff every time. I wouldn't have to like go all over town and go visit like shady drug dealers.
yeah,
I wouldn't have got involved with like half the people I was like involved with. It could have been like, hey mom, dad, I like this is helping me. Please help me get it, so I can, like you're saying, become this functioning member of society.
yeah, instead of being like all over the place when, like you said, ADHD and ADD, it's like we're all over the place. And when you smoke, you're like, oh shit, I can concentrate. It's not like,
Yeah,
where was I my entire life? It's kind of like, it's amazing how that works, man. And I appreciate you saying it, because I know it's a touchy subject, but like I think it's important for parents nowadays to realize that, that it makes a difference. Of course, it's not for everybody. Like any drug in the world, it's not for everybody, but for some people, definitely makes like a huge difference. And it's not. And like if you had, with that, if you had, I assume if you had some guidance on how to use, you wouldn't be using just to get high. You would be using to actually study.
Yeah. Because I remember back then, you just never knew what you were going to get, and
the quality.
So, yeah. So, and then I spent a lot of money on it. I had a job, and like that's just where like all my money went.
Yeah, that sucks, but hopefully that would change with time. Like I fight for it, because like I don't want them to grow up as a taboo. And if you compare there with alcohol, and you can probably tell your experience, because you said that after high school you were drinking a lot, same way I was drinking a lot.
Yeah, I think it was the booze that that really got to me.
Yeah.
Because you go out, drink every night, and be just hungover and worthless all day the next day, and
when you're hangover, you eat crappy food too, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, and then back then, I think I graduated at almost like 160 pounds, and by the time I was 20 and I quit, I think I weighed like 140 or 135.
Wow.
Like I was just, the thing was wasn't even spending money on food much.
No.
I remember living on my own and my fridge just being empty like all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy. it's crazy because like alcohol is the opposite of marijuana in my views. Like it just made you like not give a shit about anything. It's like it gets you really depressed versus marijuana, which not only helps on a concentration, but also helps in a way of like you feel alive, you know, in a sense, and not depressed, and you kind of want to do things, not, you know, not just be shitty and wake up the next day hangover and be like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it gets a bad rap. You know, people think you just smoke it and you just want to sit on the couch, but you know, we'd go smoke and go on hikes and like me and my friends, we always wanted to go out, you know, and do stuff.
And do, yeah,
And
it's cool because you kind of naturally want to get in touch with nature when you smoke, and that's not a bad thing whatsoever, you know.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, you know, I don't do it anymore, you know.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I still advocate for it and you know support it
yeah,
all the way.
good, good,
You know?
good. Now somebody here asked one question that it was going to be one of my questions too. What is your proudest moments as a parent? But I actually was going to add like you are proud, and you got to add the shitty moment too because we all had those kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I think I can't really pin down like one moment because like every day my kids do something to make me proud. Um, when they like make the right choice with something, like oh, when my kids say they want to grow up to be like a doctor or stuff, I'm like, oh, like that's a great thing to be. Like, thank you for not just saying you want to grow up to be like, you know, a deadbeat, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, like we were filling out my little girl's like thing for her first day. It says all her little information, you know, her little
Yeah.
favorites and stuff. And for a while now, she's been saying how she wants to be a doctor. I'm just like, oh, like make me proud.
Yeah. That's cool.
Shoot for the stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you know the boys want to be like hockey players, so I tell them how they have to like train and work hard. So the next thing I know, they're like doing push-ups and like outside running. So, but then on the shitty side, pretty much every day my two boys fight and scream at each other, at least at one point during the day, and somebody has a meltdown and cries. So there's proud moments every day, and there's like those shit moments every day.
Which is normal.
Yeah, which is every day.
Yeah.
If I didn't have one or the other, I'd be kind of concerned.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. Like you know, life is always like this. It's like you said, life didn't get any easier, but you're just managing differently because I don't think it ever gets easy.
Yeah. Well, and if it
Especially,
was easy, it'd be boring.
yeah, especially with kids, you know, like when I didn't have kids, my life was pretty boring, you know, because all I did was train, you know, I was married and stuff, but all I did was train, like we didn't go out much. And then now it's like the days that we can sit on the couch and watch TV, just me and her, it's like, it's nearly impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's those moments, the ups and downs, is what makes like life, you know, and it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Now, so after high school, did you even try to go to college or no? Like you?
Right after high school, I went to like a few classes at like a VOTech school.
Yeah,
I wanted to become a wildland firefighter, so I took like a couple firefighting courses, but I was still like partying, like it would have never worked anyways. I don't think I would have been able to like pass a drug test, um, at all, or even at that point, I was so out of shape, but I was having trouble even like passing some of these physical tests. But yeah, so my father back home owns a security company, so I started working for him when I was like 14. By the time I got out of high school, I was working full time and making what I thought was like decent money.
Yeah.
So like that didn't help because it didn't really motivate me to go try to do anything else. But eventually, when I was 28, I went back to school, and I went back to school for interior design, and finished that, and now I have a degree.
And you're not planning on going back to that profession, or?
Sometimes I miss it. I never got to really go into it after I graduated.
Yeah.
But yeah, the little bit I did some like internships, and I actually worked for a real estate developer on their like design team for a little while.
Yeah.
Like really corporate. Like I had like a cubicle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like sending emails and stuff. And I honestly, I liked it because it was something I've never done. But then at the same time, I really was bad at it.
Yeah.
Like sending emails, like sitting in the office. So
you were having a case of the Mondays there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Office Space. I'm like, oh. And because I was in construction before, I did security. I was doing like alarm systems and like fire alarms.
Yeah.
I did pipe fitting. I put in fire sprinklers for a while. So, I was like construction guy. I was a blue collar trying to turn into a white collar. Like,
yeah. That's tough. Because I think it's easier to go the opposite way.
Yeah. Easier to want to get out of the office.
Yeah.
And I'm a horrible speller, and I'd like send all these emails, and everybody give me a hard time for the misspellings and.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm like, so I'd have to like sit there and read an email like 5 times before I like send it.
Oh yeah. So in the given week, you were working only 15 minutes a day?
Yeah. Right. Just spell checking everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, because English is my second language, and man, like I read and reread and reread and reread, and I still make a lot of mistakes. And like I post my blog every now and then, and people are like, "Oh, you missed that, you missed that." I'm like, whatever, But
yeah,
it's tough.
Yep. Yeah. Same with exact same thing with my blog, and I finally had like an editor. A friend of mine was editing my stuff, which was awesome. And then since COVID, she got like, her kids came back home, and she was too busy to help me out. But yeah, that was key. So any editors out there, hit me up.
Yeah. And so you do have your blog still or not? Because it's pretty cool blog. But
yeah, I was checking it earlier, and I was able to get on it. But yeah, I haven't posted in like over a year, I think.
Because I went to your profile before this interview, and then when I click on the link, it came on the bio. I was like, what? And I was like, where's the? And then because I forgot the address. I had it saved, but I forgot the address from the other profile that I had. That when we met, and then when I was looking for, that's when I sent you a message. I'm like, where's your blog? Because it's a pretty cool blog.
Yeah. I think that's one thing I would like to pay more attention to now that I'll have that free time.
Yeah, maybe you can go back writing with that free time.
Yeah.
We can
I
find
started
an
journaling.
editor for both of us.
Yes. Yeah. I started journaling a few months ago, and yeah, just that was one of my favorite subjects in school. I was always a really good writer, and it just you know like it's a good way to get my creative juices out.
Yeah, that's what I do. Like I have piles of notes here, but like
Yeah.
'cause I write a lot at night, and but I don't like to use the screen at nighttime as much. So I write on paper, but I don't always publish stuff because I think nobody's gonna read or give a shit, and then I was like, whatever. But it's kind of cool because I get inspiration to do songs, in a way.
Yeah.
But writing is good, like especially I think for experience like you and mine that it was pretty similar. I think it's very healing to write. I don't know about you, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
helps quite a
definitely
bit.
sitting there and even self-reflecting and writing that down. I mean, it's very, very therapeutic.
Yeah. Now let's talk about fatherhood, man. What is the hardest parts of being a dad, especially a stay-home dad?
Uh, the hardest part for me, it's not necessarily like the child care, because I've always loved babies. I've never been like shy of wiping butts. Diapers never like bothered me. I used to do a lot of babysitting when I was a kid. I
Yeah.
had some younger cousins. Um, but the hardest part for being a dad, especially a stay-at-home dad, is keeping the house clean and doing all that shit. Like, I know it's like that's my job. I need to do it, but I suck at it. My wife lets me know I suck at it. She's like, God damn it, you just mop the floors. And I'm like that's worse.
Do you know, like, you're not alone, man, because, like, in my house, it's the same thing. Like, for me, first, is like, with my ADHD, sometimes it's like, I'm all over the place. And I'm running like a chicken. And, like, before it was just Luke. Now I have like a 10-month too. And it's like, I'm insane. And I go the same way. It's like, it's my fucking job. I gotta do this. And, like, I can't catch up.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
and then
sometimes
some.
I put the clothes to wash, and then I forget to dry, and then they're all smelly again. And it's like,
Yeah, yeah. Or I'll just do like 4 loads and not fold anything, and then next thing I know, I'm like 2 hours folding clothes. Uh, yeah, it's fatherhood. That shit's awesome. I love playing with the kids and taking care of the kids. The house cleaning. I just wish I could hire a maid.
yeah, I mean, me too, man. It's like, for me, if it was just playing with the kids and educating them, it would be fine. But having to do all the other stuff, and like I cook too, so it's kind of like it's tough because I want to cook like on the grill with calm and stuff, and not always you can do that.
Yeah,
The good thing is like my wife, like she does a lot of things, and sometimes she does it faster than I can even comprehend. So but I go the same way with that guilt of like, man, this is my job, I gotta keep it up, and it's tough, man.
yeah. And then I have like, since I feel like it's my job, when my wife does come and help, like I feel this guilt. I'm like, man, you shouldn't have to. Like,
Exactly.
I'm like, I'll get it. I swear. Like, like,
It's the same exactly story with me. It's like she started doing stuff. I'm like, no, just let me do it. It's like it's my freaking job, and I have like I don't know, like 200 pounds of guilt in my back, and I'm like, you worked. The minimum you can do is just chill now and let me do my job, but it's
Yeah.
crazy. The guilt
Yeah.
is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. And she handles all the finance stuff. Um, if we have to change insurance, like she's the one that like calls and does all that. So like I know her plate is full. Like
Yeah.
she's got that stuff handled. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think when you become a stay-home dad, you see first of all like how much work it actually is, but also because you kind of have an idea what's going on the other side in terms of insurance, and you got to work and kind of have to bring the bread in, and it's you kind of know both sides of the story a little bit, and I think that's what it makes it tough.
Yeah. Yeah, like I follow a lot of like moms too, on Instagram and stuff. And I love it. Like when they complain about their husbands, I'm like, yes, I relate to you, but it's my wife. Like, my wife doesn't know where the washing machine is. Like, haha, like,
Yeah.
And then sometimes I've gotten like some shit when I will make fun of my wife in that way.
Yeah.
I get these women that are like, oh my God, like, but I'm like, you laugh at it when it's the wife making fun of the husband. Like, why can't
But then
I
it's the other
reverse
way
it?
around. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's equal rights
that's
to a certain point.
I know, and that's one of the hardest things I have. Is like I hate that. I still get like sometimes I'll have the kids out, and I get that like, oh, you're babysitting today.
You get that? I didn't get that much yet, but
Yeah.
that was actually one of my questions. Do you get a lot of shit from being a stay-home dad, from friends, family? It doesn't matter.
Mainly it's just strangers.
Just strangers.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. Sometimes, sometimes it gets to me. I'm just, I want the respect that you would give the mom. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I
then,
hear you, man. It's tough. I mean, my situation's a little bit different, as you know. Like Luke has a condition, but a lot of times that we go to the doctors, it's like the doctor's asking everything for the mom, and she obviously she knows, she's the mom and stuff. Like she knows everything as well. But I also know, and I'm the, like I'm the stay-home one, and nobody asks me shit. They just pass by, like the dad doesn't know shit, and just go straight to the mom. I'm like, dude, I'm here, man.
yeah,
I'm not invisible.
yeah, yeah. My wife's pretty good at being like in that situation. She'll just be like, I don't know. Like, ask him.
Yeah,
So,
it's tough, man.
yeah, I had when Amelia was still like, an infant, maybe like 3 months old or something.
Yeah.
I forget where I was at, but Amelia was crying, which babies cry.
Yeah.
She might have been more like 5 or 6 because she was old enough to have like a little bit of like stranger danger.
Yeah.
But this woman in her like 50s just was like, oh, she misses mommy. Let me see her. Like complete stranger. And I'm like, okay. I knew like if I handed Amelia to her, I knew Amelia was gonna like freak out even more.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, here. And sure enough, Amelia just started screaming even louder, and I'm just like, oh, like a complete stranger can't, make my baby stop crying. Like, thanks, lady.
Yeah. It's
Like,
crazy, man. I don't know what it takes, but like I sometimes I talk to friends here and there, and it's like first they can relate, when you're staying home dad, and a lot of them don't understand, like, but it's like what you gonna do, you know, like you just don't have any connection with it. But it's kind of crazy how, you know, society goes in that route always, you know, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And for us, it's even, I mean, for me, it's worse because when you hear something like that, your guilt just becomes like double the size than what it was before. You know,
Yeah.
you just,
Yeah. I even started telling people at one point when they would ask oh, how do you become the stay-at-home dad? I started telling them just like, well, I fucked off in my 20s and I don't have a career. Like,
yeah.
I'm married a girl that does, and
Yeah,
so
well,
that
it
kind of gets them to go like, oh,
they kind of change a little bit,
yeah,
especially because, like, I mean, there's two things here that I see it. One, they're not expecting you to be vulnerable, and two, well, I think it's just one. I don't think they're expecting you just to say like, yeah, well, I fucked it up, and like my case is
yeah,
different, I think, because you know I was an athlete before I changed my athlete to become an athlete, and so when somebody needed to be the stay home, I was like, I'll be more like, because I don't like work, I don't like dealing with like bullshit, you know, like I honestly like, you know, for me it was like from athlete, it's either I'm gonna coach, but because I'm not involved with the sport anymore, I'm not going to events and things like that, it makes it a little bit harder to coach. I still coach on the side, but it's kind of like it was kind of becoming weird. And then I was like, you know, fine. I made my choice in life, which I don't think is bad. But like now, it's like somebody needs to stay home. Why not me? But at the same time, I'm like, if I have to get a 9 to 5 job, I'll be I'll be going nuts. So
yeah,
you know, like for me, it was just like it was almost a present. I was like, I'll be more than happy to be home and not having to deal with that other stuff. But still,
yeah, yeah. For me, um, finishing, a degree I worked really hard on, and then
yeah,
just graduating and staying home. Honestly, I had a little bit of like, I'd call it postpartum depression because like I had to like grieve the loss of what could have been a career.
yeah,
So like I was a little depressed after graduating college and not going directly into it.
yeah.
But
Oh, you can always go
yeah,
back. You can always start.
yeah,
I mean, if you start
yeah,
your own business,
yeah,
but you don't feel
yeah.
like
Well,
it.
where I'm at here in Bozeman, um, pretty much it's growing so fast. You need every type of position filled. So like I could probably start a small design firm myself.
Yeah,
Um, just I need that flexibility. So yeah, I cannot go do a stiff 9 to 5 job.
yeah. Well,
And
maybe now with the kids in school, you can open up your stuff and just make sure you open for business on flexible hours.
yeah, yeah, my wife gets like 5 or 6 weeks of vacation, and I tell her all the time, I'm like, if I started working at 9 to 5, they're not going to give me that.
Yeah,
We'd be going on no trips.
exactly. That makes it. I mean, I I'm in favor of one having a flexible job, fixed job with vacations like that, and another one having a flexible, because then it allows you to do a lot more stuff. I think as a family. Uh,
Yeah.
Now, do you feel bad at all on that like patriarchal sense of like you're not the one bringing the money in, you're not the one paying the bills? Do you go through a lot of that process in your mind? Is like besides, take it. Let's pretend that you cleaned the whole house. The kids are alive. In the end of the day, you did everything that you needed to do, like perfectly. You don't have that guilt. Just that. Do you feel bad on the other part of like when society looks like, well, the guy doesn't work? Do you feel that or no?
Yeah, like I, I was about to say all the time, but I think over the years it's gotten like less. But yeah, I mean, like my wife makes the money, so like I have a hard time spending her money. Like if there's something I want, I'm like, oh, like I can't. I feel like I just can't go out and buy it, even though she tells me like all the time that I can. But I'm like, man, I've worked since I was 14, earning my own money. Like I don't, you know, I'm getting more used to it, but I like feel, a certain type of way about spending that money didn't necessarily like make. And then, like I said, like if I'm around a group of males that, all have like nice jobs and stuff, and they're driving that new Tesla or whatever, I'm like, yeah, I see you, and I don't make any money.
Yeah. Yeah, I,
Like,
I feel that too sometimes. Like even though it's like the case is a little bit different here, but it's kind of like you feel bad not doing it, not bringing anything in. Like it's kind of okay. It's a weird feeling because you hear like I grew up my entire life as man is the provider and this and this, and you kind of go against everything that society says, and it feels kind of weird sometimes. Like not only the fact that you're doing the house stuff and that on top, so it kind of like it brings you a different awareness, I think.
yeah, yeah, and I feel like a lot of people I meet they have that awareness because I mean, 90% of the time I tell them I'm a stay-at-home dad, and they're like, "Oh, you have the hardest job." You
Yeah.
know, I think I have gotten the reactions where people are just like, "So you don't work?" It's just like, "Yep,
Yeah, not really.
yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't get a paycheck, but
But you do work
I
like
pretty,
crazy.
I pretty much work 24/7."
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like even your wife coming back home from work, like you're still taking care of the kids, so it's like nonstop, and that's a mother's job back in the days, like what most stay-home moms were like it. But
Yeah,
we don't take that in consideration.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I grew up with my mom being the stay-at-home mom, and my dad worked, and I remember like, you know, I remember having a great childhood, but reflecting back on it, I mean, my dad like never tucked us in, you know. He never got off his like lazy boy. It was like, go give dad a kiss goodnight. Like, he never
Oh yeah,
came in, like my mom had like dinner ready at like 6 o'clock when he got home, and then he just chilled out all day. And for a long, long time, like yeah, as an adult, I thought that was how it would be. Like I was engaged in my early 20s to this girl, and that's kind of the relationship we had. She was
yeah,
just gonna like stay home, and um, she was gonna have dinner ready for me.
yeah.
And it what what I figured out was she was actually very lazy, didn't want to work. It was just a good thing we didn't end up getting married.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like when I decided to have kids, I already had like a flexible job, and I I wanted to be present You know, like I wanted to, you know, take them to school. That's why I picked the job that I had because I want to take them to school. I wanted to tuck him in, take him in, and stuff like that. So for me, like honestly, the idea become of a stay-home dad was a gift because of like if I can spend time with them, you know, like which is the opposite. Like my parents got divorced when I was 3. My dad worked on the international company, and I never saw him. You know, like it was pretty much the same way. So I wanted to be like a present dad, regardless of my job. So when the whole idea came, I was like, yeah, man, I would be a stay-home dad, like with, because I think that's one of the best gifts you have. It's spend time with your kids.
Yeah. Yeah. And I spent a lot of time with my dad, but it was, doing the fun stuff.
Yeah,
You know, he took me snowboarding and we played golf, and it's just the emotional side, you
that
know.
was lacking of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And now, I mean, I pour like all my emotions in front of these kids, you know.
yeah.
Oh, they know dad's going to cry on the first day of school, you know.
I'm the
So
same way, man.
yeah. Yeah, so totally I think I've totally broken like that cycle, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Like I'm grateful for it, to be honest. Like I'm grateful that I was able to break that cycle because, you know,
Yeah.
like it's easy to be present on the fun stuff, you know, and but the emotional part, it's equally, if not more important, in my view. And I think having both parents in there, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah. My youngest son once said, he was like, you know, "Mom, Dad, I wish I was a girl." We were like "Why is that?" He's like, "Because when I grow up, I want to have a job."
I want to have a job.
And, I was just like, yep." Like they they're his view at the moment was like, dad stay home, mom's work.
Yeah. Yeah, he thinks that the
No.
world is like this, but
Yeah.
because that's his
Nah,
world right now.
yeah. So it's just good. I mean, obviously they'll see other kids with, stay-at-home moms instead, and they'll just now know that there's both instead of me. When I grew up, I just thought that was like the one thing. 'Cause I don't remember any of my friends having a stay-at-home dad growing up at all.
Oh yeah, no, I never, I don't think I ever had any friends either like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we all just had those fun weekend dads, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I remember too. It's like I don't remember any of my friends saying like, "Hey, my dad stays home" or whatever. Even though in Brazil, like I grew up in Brazil, so in Brazil it's a little normally economically it's normal for both parents to work. So my mom worked full time too, but even that, like I had a few friends that the mom stayed home, and but it was never the opposite.
Yeah.
Now, when COVID hit it, that school stopped. How was that for you?
Oh, well, it was horrible. Um, we were planning on moving abroad last year.
Yeah.
We had we put our house on the market a week before lockdown,
Oh.
and so we were like, we were in like step like 3 or 4 on our way to moving. We were going to move to New Zealand.
Oh.
We like, yeah, we were selling all of our stuff. Our house, luckily, with the Denver market, we're like under contract like right away. So we didn't have to deal with showing a house during COVID, but um, yeah. So we were in the middle of moving. Kids were home from school. Um, we ended up moving to Maryland, and we were living with my mother-in-law. So we started school out there in Maryland, which was all remote. And so basically, I had my two boys on individual iPads and trying to teach my first grader like how to read and write. It was not good.
Not good. It's
Not
tough,
good.
bro. It's tough, man.
Yeah, he just, you know, anything you try to teach your kids, they're just going to be like, whatever. Someone else teaching your kids are just like, oh, this person's an expert.
Exactly.
Yeah, so just it sucked, and I was super afraid my oldest was gonna have to be held back a year or something. But as soon as we got to Montana, they were in person, so I was able to finish out the year in school. Then the next thing I know, he's like reading books and he's like writing sentences. I'm just like I knew you could do it. He didn't want to do it for me.
Exactly.
I mean, he went from barely reading to like coming home and like reading these books. It was amazing.
That's cool. Yeah, I don't think it works pretty good with parents teaching it because they know, like they know how to go around, like they need somebody different in there.
Yeah. And like we had like a whole room set up, like a classroom. Like we had things on the wall.
I saw
like
your stories. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like it wasn't a lack of trying, man. We were like, I was there like 3 hours in front of this iPad while the teacher taught, and like I was helping him out. It's just, he did not like it.
Yeah. That sucks, man. Now, why New Zealand you guys picked?
Well, a couple years ago, we went to Australia, and we were there for like 9 weeks. And we wanted to jump over to New Zealand and never did. So when my wife and I made the decision to like, let's go travel while the kids are still young,
Yeah.
we wanted New Zealand to be our first stop. And we didn't just want to like spend 2 weeks in a country and leave. Like we were going to try to stay in New Zealand for a year.
Yeah.
And really travel around, really get to know, the culture. And we had a town and like a school picked out for the kids. And then it just
didn't follow through. Yeah.
Just like with life, it just didn't work out. But now we're planning on we're like not giving up. We're hoping in about 3 years we can, instead of doing a really big trip, we're going to do that like year-long, spend 2 weeks here, spend 2 weeks here type of trip.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. And it was awesome. During the build-up, I was really connecting with a lot of people from New Zealand on Instagram here. And so I had like some friends already in the town we were like going to move to.
Oh, wow.
I had like a little group of friends. They call themselves the Runaway Moms.
The Runaway Moms.
In Auckland. Yeah, so like, so I feel like I still have friends there that eventually one of these days, like, I'll get to meet.
You get that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And it's funny when I go look at like, my analytics or my insights on Instagram, I have the country where I have the most followers is
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So,
well, maybe one
hey
day,
to all the Kiwis.
Yeah. One day you're gonna go over there.
Yeah.
I have a great friend that is from New Zealand. And
Nice.
then one day one day I didn't know I called him an Aussie, and he looked to me like, "What the hell, man?" And then I
Yeah.
was like, "No, dude, I mean, sorry, I messed it up." He's like, "No, we hate each other." I'm like, "What?" So
Yeah, a little bit of a rivalry there for sure.
yeah, he's like, "Don't ever call me Aussie, man." I'm like, "Okay, dude, I'm sorry, like let's move on."
Yeah. He's gonna call you like a Argentinian or something.
Oh yeah, you know that would be pretty bad.
Yeah.
But do you know, like we did a race together. It was like a relay race, and he decided to ride because on that race you could paint your van and stuff like that. It's a regular race. I don't know if you ever heard about it. It's like kind of like a party at night, so people paint the van. And then he started
Okay.
riding all blacks. I was like, dude, it's like,
Uh,
and we were passing through Miami. It's like people gonna shot us like with in here because it's like, are you crazy? He's like, no, it's a thing. I'm like, I know what you're talking about, but not necessarily everybody knows what you're talking about. Okay, so you're gonna get us
yeah,
good.
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's funny because when we were there the first time, I saw that All Blacks. That's the first place my mind went to,
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, but then I'm like, it's it's a rugby team.
yeah, but
So
like I
everybody,
was like, dude, no.
yeah,
Here, I think the story is a little bit different.
yeah, yeah. Uh, do you make it down to Brazil much?
Man, the last time I went was I actually went in 2019 to visit my dad, but that was it. And before that, I did my last Ironman in there in 2014. I mean, I like
Nice.
Brazil, but it's too much of a mess to go down there, man. And then when we go, my wife's family is in one town, my family is in another town, my dad is in another town. And then, like, when I used to go to do an Ironman, like, you had to carry your bike to several and bags, like, to several different cities. It was kind of tough. So,
Yeah, yeah,
but
I can see that.
it's a fun country. If you ever want to go, it's a fun country.
Yeah, that's actually where my high school girlfriend was from.
Oh, really?
She was yeah, she was an exchange student. So that's, you know, that's the reason she had to leave was her exchange program was up.
Oh, I see. She
Yeah,
probably got mad that she didn't marry you to get the visa.
that's right. She's, I'm gonna send her this.
The video.
Yeah, be like, I was talking about you. Yeah, no, we like try to do a long distance thing, but back then it was like, um, we couldn't just email and talk like we are. It was like
Yeah.
I had to go to the store and get like a calling card that was
Oh yeah.
international. Yeah, it was like $2 a minute. So it was hard, but no. So I have a soft spot for Brazil in
It's
my
a
heart.
it's a really nice country. I don't regret growing up over there. It's different, but it's pretty cool. And like, if you want to party, go to Rio. Like, you can party all day and night. Like, easily. Uh,
Yeah,
São Paulo is more like New York type of thing. The night in São Paulo, it's like crazy insane. It's better than
yeah,
Rio, but Rio during the day, it's more fun with and beaches and stuff, and there's more nature to do. There's a lot of stuff to do in Rio. São Paulo too, but São Paulo is more like city type of, you know.
yeah,
But right now it's a mess over there, so I want to go,
yeah,
even if I
yeah,
wanted to.
yeah. We're yeah. We still want to travel the world, and we want to do it young while kids are young, so we're not ripping them away from like, you know, I can't imagine taking a high schooler away from high school for a year,
Yeah.
so
I don't think it would be fair. I agree with
yeah.
you on that.
And then they were really looking forward to, going to New Zealand. We call it our adventure, like they were looking forward to going on their adventure. And then when COVID happened and we couldn't go anymore, and then we moved to a new town, we didn't know anyone. So they we couldn't even take them to like anywhere to go play with kids because Maryland was like locked down.
Oh, yeah.
And it was hard on them. They missed having friends, and all of a sudden I felt like the worst parent in the world because I just ripped them away from their life, and they're with a promise that they were going to get to do something really cool, and then it didn't happen.
Yeah. That sucks, man, but I think it ended up being a good thing because as far as I can see, they love over there, right?
Yeah, we ended up in Bozeman, Montana, and we're, this winter we got to snowboard a bunch, so we're like a total ski family now.
Oh, nice.
My two boys play hockey, and they have a great hockey program here. Hockey's really big here, and people will make rinks in their backyards and stuff out here.
For real?
Yeah. And like every pond, there's tons of pond hockey. So like after school, we can just like go skate on like the neighborhood pond and stuff.
Wow. It gets that cold at the pound. It's.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Our backyard's not big enough. Otherwise, I'd totally try to make my own like rink back there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. My brother actually lived in Montana for a while in Great Falls,
Okay, yeah.
Air Force Base. But I never went there. He went to UND for college, and I went to North Dakota, but I went on summertime. I didn't go in winter. But Montana, his wife's family is from there, but I never been there. I heard it's like beautiful.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of Colorado, very people are very outdoorsy, and it's just so much less crowded.
Yeah.
So, we were living in Morrison, so like in the foothills, but it was still hard for us to like get up into the mountains and go do stuff.
Yeah.
So now we like a 20-minute drive down the road, and we're in this like national forest with this like beautiful lake, and compared to Colorado, like nobody around.
Yeah, I heard it's very like you don't see a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, it's easier to see a bear than actually see humans.
Yeah. You have to carry bear spray with you when you're like going and doing outdoor stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was a new thing. We're hiking with our like big can of pepper spray.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And where I grew up in Colorado, I mean we'd see bear down there too, but they're just up here we have grizzlies, and already this summer, I mean, we hear about like people getting attacked, or a bear ripped a lady out of her tent not too long ago.
Wow.
So it's like the real Wild West.
Yeah.
Up here.
My brother, he told me once that he was living in there, and he mountain bike too, and he said that one day he passed by like a bear cub, and he was like freaking out because I guess if you cross between the mom and the cub, you're pretty much dead because they're gonna chase you for the rest of their life. That's what I heard. I don't know how true is that, but he was worried about crossing them and the bear coming
Yeah.
after him.
Yeah. On a run, my wife and her friend saw two bear cubs and a mom, and they stopped to grab a picture. But yeah, usually if you see a cub and a mom, you just need to leave as quick
Yeah,
as you can.
yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, yeah, but since I've been here, I haven't seen a bear yet.
no,
No.
I guess that's good.
Yeah.
Because like, how long are you living there now? Like, it's been a year already or no?
It's been 9 months.
9 months.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the first year not seeing a bear is kind of cool, right? You got a year to
Yeah.
adjust to the fact that you even have to carry something.
Yeah. Well, and then every time I've been out there hiking or whatever, I've been with the kids. So it's if we had to run from a bear, I'd be carrying like 3 kids when I'm
Yeah.
running.
So, what's the plan? You gotta pepper spray their face and run
Yeah.
like hell?
Yeah. Apparently these canisters can shoot like 15, 20 feet. And yeah, it's supposed to stop the bear, but I've heard several people say that they're not as effective as they claim. I've never met anybody that's actually had to use it. People that have had to have it out and ready, but
But never
never.
use
Yeah.
it. Well, I heard.
Apparently,
I'm sorry.
there is a guy in town. I guess you can go to him and he helps you practice. Getting it out. There's like a safety on it. I guess he has like a firing range where he has like a mechanical bear that comes at you.
Oh, then you can practice.
So, yeah. So
But
maybe I'll go.
it's like those self-defense
Yeah.
against rape, where the guy attacked you from out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. You
That's
learn how
crazy.
to kick them in the balls or whatever.
Yeah, I heard that Metallica can scare them too. That wasn't it
Yeah.
somebody that did here in Colorado that they saw. I heard I read an article that they were getting like the bear was about to attack and he blasted like for whom the bell goes like out loud and the bear just ran away.
Yeah.
So I
I'll
guess
try
in
that.
best case scenario you can just pump up the MP3 and just go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. If I start trail running, maybe I'll just, run with my Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah, because you listen to metal too, right? That's
Yeah.
probably one of my last questions for you. I know you have a pretty cool relationship with music. You like some punk rock, you like some metal and stuff. Just tell us a little bit, like, how did you get into to that?
Yeah. Growing up as a kid, I used to always love music, and I watched the Smashing Pumpkins play on SNL one night.
Yeah.
I was like 8 years old, and I was like, I want to play guitar. So from 8 years old to 18, I, took guitar lessons. In high school, I was in a couple bands. Unfortunately, I haven't picked up the guitar since graduating high school.
Yeah.
I don't play anymore, but yeah, I love all kinds of music. I'll mix it up. I do like hip hop. So when I lived in Denver, though, I used to go see a lot of shows. I had a buddy of mine, single bachelor, and he he kept me in the know about like new music and you know, when our favorite bands would come to town. I think we were seeing like a show a month for a while.
Wow, wow.
So, but yeah, I love getting my kids into music. Um, there's my son's drum set.
Oh, nice. I was going to say that, like, I didn't know you played the guitar, but because I knew you had the drum, but
Yeah, yeah. For Christmas this year, because the boys have really been begging me for electric guitar, for a rock guitar.
yeah,
For Christmas, I'm gonna get both of them their own guitar, and then I'm actually gonna get myself one too.
cool.
So yeah, because I've been meaning to pick it back up for a while now. So
It's good.
yeah. Well, and then we're living our. You said you skate now because it was like a childhood dream of yours. Who doesn't want the family band?
Exactly.
And me and the boys just got done reading a book about the history of rock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, this book was amazing. I've been meaning to make a post about it because, like, it started back in the day with like, with blues and R&B and folk music,
Yeah.
and it, went all the way through '50s rock and talked about Elvis, the British invasion, and I found out that my kids, they're Stones fans, not Beatles fans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I play. So each night we'd read like a few pages, and then I would get YouTube on and we'd listen to the bands that they mentioned.
That is awesome, man.
Yeah, and they're growing up in the age where like I swear they think music is supposed to be watched because everything has like a music video.
Yeah.
So I put on the music. I made them just sit there and listen, and we'd like listen and talk about like the differences between eras and between bands, and we finally got to like early punk with like the New York Dolls and the Ramones and stuff.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, they loved the New York Dolls and Alice Cooper.
That's
My
pretty
son.
cool, man.
Yeah, so
And
I mean, these young kids, they're just like these balls of clay. It like does not take much to mold them, and
yeah.
so I'm molding them into these little punk rockers.
Yeah. And it's incredible because a lot of people I think you said one for first. I think you said one thing like they think that music is supposed to see it, but I think nothing beats listening and really listening, like paying attention to the lyrics, because there's a lot of like there's some shitty music. I'll be honest, but there's a lot of like teachings on those songs that like kids can learn from it, big time.
Yeah,
Do you mind me asking what's
yeah.
the name of the book?
I think it's called History in American Rock. Yeah, we picked it up from the library. I will definitely. I'll tag you when I do the post.
Please do, yeah, because I want to know. I want to get it probably, because my two kids
Yeah,
are fanatic with music.
yeah, yeah, and it's just I don't know, it's something you can do with them forever.
Yeah,
Like you never grow out of music.
he's never. And honestly, you can have a house band, a family band, for the rest of your life. Like because it's something that nobody ever needs to see it, and it's fun and it's a good way to connect with the family.
Yeah, yeah. We have our movie nights, so we can just incorporate our music nights, and
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, you're a good dad.
well, thank you. Well,
I
I see
already,
you too, man.
I already knew it, but like it's always good to reinforce uh, that, and I admire you a lot on your stuff that you post and how you handle with the kids and to be honest, come in today to talk about this. I know for a lot of people it's not easy, and you know because like again, you become vulnerable, but you came and talk and you told your story, so that makes you even more in my view. I'll give you even more thumbs ups on that because it requires balls to talk about your feeling. That's the reality. Even though most men make fun of it, but I think it requires a lot of balls to talk about your feelings. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it took almost 18 years to even come out that I had even attempted suicide. Um, before I wrote a blog about it, I, no one knew.
yeah,
So, and in hindsight, man, I wish I I wish I had talked about it and long for,
yeah,
never a good thing to keep, you know, it's just never a good thing to keep those emotions in, man. Doesn't doesn't do good things.
no, no, not at all. And it's funny you said because like I never said anything either, and when I said for the first time, even with my therapist, it almost felt like why I didn't talk about this before because it felt so much better, and it was like a release. You know, we're talking about the weight in the back. It's like you took a huge chunk out of it just by talking to your therapist and talking to people that you love that loves you. It makes it even better. Not necessarily everybody understands, but it makes it better. And then I was the same way of like why I didn't talk about this before, but
Yeah.
yeah, keep it inside. It's never good, man. Never good.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
to kind of close, I want to know. Well, first, if you want to say anything, I think that's what I want to leave it out. It's like, what do you want to? If the whole world could listen to you now, what would you say for men, dads, kids, uh, whatever, like whatever you want to, put it out there.
Yeah. Man. Uh, my biggest message in life is just always like to be yourself. And, if I was speaking to like young kids, I'd, be yourself. Don't think you have to fit, you're a round peg. You don't have to go in that round hole. You can, you don't have to be put in a box. And I think what we talked about how society with the view on stay-at-home dads and that's putting people in boxes.
Yeah.
I've never been one to be put in a box. And as far as what I would say to any man about fatherhood, uh, it just baffles me when there's fathers out there that aren't completely involved in every aspect of your kid's life, because these kids, they're amazing.
Yeah.
And and you can do it if you're a new father or even been a father for years. I mean, you can do it. You can connect with your kids. It's worth it. It's just, it's so important. People, mothers are important too, but man, fathers are right there. They're equal, if not, higher. I read articles about, children growing up without fathers and with fathers, and the active, engaged father, your children just do so much better in life. So
I couldn't agree more, man. I think there is a whole generation out there that didn't have the emotional impact of a father, and we can clearly see the difference, I guess. Uh, so I
Yeah.
think it's amazing, and once again, like I think your work, which a lot of people don't think is work, but your work as a father, it's amazing, and I love following you, and I want you to know that I always see people that present me to new music have a special place in my heart. And one time you told me you presented me the song that I became a fan, "Never Say Die." I forgot the name of the band, but the name of the
The
song is
Bastard
never
Son.
"The Bastard Sons." Yes, fantastic
Yes.
song, and like I said, you have a place in my heart. Not only for the songs, but for the work that you do, being a stay-home dad. I know how hard it is, and it is work. Don't take it for granted. Um, but like I
Yeah.
appreciate you, man, and I back you up on that on your words 100%.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And it's been a pleasure talking to you. And I've been a fan of yours too for a long time. So
Thank you, man.
yeah.
It's great
Yeah.
talking to you as well.
You too. And my phone is about to die.
All right,
So
we're
but
perfect
thank you.
timing.
Yeah, and when next time I'm in Denver, I'm gonna hit you up.
Let's go for that skateboarding.
Yeah, we'll go ride.
Yeah, or maybe I go to Montana.
Oh, there you go. We'll
You
just
never
come see
know.
a bear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe we'll go over there and you show me some bears. All
yeah, for sure.
right,
Well,
man.
thanks again, man.
Thank you. Rock on, man. Keep it rocking. Because fatherhood, it's one of the best things.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
All right.
See you, man. Peace.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.